Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4. This is Bookshelf, and Bookshelf today we're going to take a look at September releases for 2023. With me to do that is Matt Matkowski, the head of public services at Palos Heights Library. Matt, thank you for being here.
My pleasure as always.
Matt generated a long list of books, and actually I had to filter some out and condense some. The tricky part is this is big publishing time, right?
Yeah, September is, a lot of books are coming out.
Right,
So.
they want to get them out. I'm assuming for the holidays coming up, they're getting in front of that.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of books to cruise through, a lot of great reads and a lot of great authors. As a matter of fact, we're going to start with one. So here's a September 2023 release, big name right off the bat, and we're going to put him in the suspense and psychological thriller category, but the name itself will tell you what kind of book we're getting, Matt.
It is called Holly, and it is by Stephen King. So this one actually is not so much on the horror side of Stephen King, but more on kind of the detective novel approach. But still, Stephen King,
His
there's
style.
still some kind of spooky, psychological thriller moments in there. And this one actually is the main character, Holly Gibney. She is from the book Mr. Mercedes and Finders Keepers. So this is the first time she's getting her own book. And the description is, when Holly Gibney receives a call at the Finders Keepers detective agency, she should decline the job. Her mother has just died and her partner has COVID, but Holly can't help but want to help Penny Dowell find her missing daughter. But Holly's search leads her to an octogenarian couple, two ruthless professors with an unholy secret in their basement that may lead to Penny's daughter.
I like Stephen King. I'm a fan of his writing, and I'm good with him doing the psychological suspense story. I don't always need the monster stories.
Right.
And what he does with characters, this sounds good.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. The next category we're going to take a look at is in the Western mystery and action and adventure category. And Paulette Giles, maybe more familiar to some, this author wrote News of the World, which was made into a movie starring Tom Hanks. Her characters are great, and they definitely have that West feel, and definitely in this case, it's in that time period. The main character is somebody named John Chenville, spends the last year of the Civil War recovering from a traumatic head wound. When he finally returns home, he finds his sister and her family have been murdered. With undaunted determination, John vows to track down the killer, a man who thinks his badge gives him free license to kill indiscriminately. I'm looking forward to this one. This one will get bumped right to the front of the line. I definitely recommend Paulette Giles. Next category, and this is again a very, very big name. Big books here, and we're taking a look at historical fiction.
Yeah, Ken Follett. You know him. I'm sure you've heard of his name. He's back with The Armor of Light. It's the latest entry into the Kingsbridge series. And in this one, the Industrial Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars highlight the ever-changing world. It follows a widow whose husband died in an industrial accident, a young woman seeking funding for a school for impoverished children, and a young man who unexpectedly inherits a failing business, as well as a man who is ruthlessly clinging to his wealth at all costs.
I've read some of Ken Follett's books. Again, another great author with characters, great situations. I haven't read everything he's written. I've read several of his books. Definitely like him. Looking forward to this one also. The next book we're going to take a look at is actually one of my all-time favorite authors. I mean, if I've got top three, he's definitely my top three. That's William Kent Krueger. He has a book coming out September, The River We Remember. This is a standalone. He's not doing the Cork O'Connor book here, even though he still is working on those series. This one is set in 1958. We've got Sheriff Brody Dern investigating the murder of a disliked wealthy landowner in a small Minnesota town. So he has a little bit of a feel, the types of things he writes, but new place, new setting, new time period. The rumor mill is quickly ablaze, accusing the murder on Noah Bluestone, a Native American World War II vet who just returned to town with his new Japanese bride. As Brody tries to find the truth, the physical and emotional wounds from World War II bring up old grievances in the community. And again, in William Kent Krueger's hands, the potential here is, a great story. This one, so already I've got two books I'm going to read immediately when they come out. I don't know how I'm going to time that up, but All right, let's take a look. Next category, international mystery and crime. And again, another huge author here.
Yeah, so this is The Running Grave by Robert Galbraith, of course, the pen name of J.K. Rowling. This is the 7th book in this series already. Wow. And these tend to be very thick door stoppers. But private investigator Cormoran Strike is back with Robin Ellicott, and they take on another case. When we last left them, they were both debating whether they wanted a romantic relationship, but Robin might have started dating a new fellow, complicating matters for everyone.
All right, so this is an international mystery crime story. There's a romance subplot going on here, but and I know very little has actually been said about this book. I think they keep it under wraps a little bit.
Seems that way.
Okay, but for the Cormorant series, you've got a new book coming out in September. All right, next category, a collection of short stories in the Witty and Wise category by Kate Atkinson, another huge name in literature. So she's got, the way the critics describe this, a dazzling collection of 11 interconnected stories. Nothing is quite as it seems. We meet a queen who makes a bargain she cannot keep, a secretary who watches over a life she has just left, a lost man who bets on a horse that may or may not have spoken to him, and several more. Definitely take a look. Kate Atkinson is another great writer, and this collection of short stories sounds like it might be a fun read here.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to another book in a series, Amateur Sleuths.
Yep. Richard Osman is back, the very popular Thursday Murder Club series. This is the 4th book in it, called The Last Devil to Die. You'd think they'd be allowed to relax over Christmas, but not in the world of the Thursday Murder Club. On Boxing Day, you can tell this is in England, it's Boxing Day, a dangerous package is smuggled across the English coast. When it goes missing, chaos is unleashed. The body count starts to rise, including someone close to the Thursday Murder Club, and the gang faces an impossible search and their most deadly opponents yet.
All right, so I have to admit, I have not read any of these books, but they all sound interesting to me. I mean, I'm going to have to break that glass, and I'm going to read one of the Thursday Murder Club books. You haven't read any of these, have you?
They're on my list.
They're
very
list
popular.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll put, after William Kent Kruger, Paul Giles, all right, Richard Osman, you'll make an appearance. Next category is in the espionage thriller. Again, another, famous author here, but The Traitor by Ava Glass. And this is a sequel to a high-action spy thriller, Alias Emma. That was the first one. British spy Emma Makepeace returns with another Russian investigation. When an MI6 operative is assassinated, Emma determines to find the killer without becoming a victim herself. As Emma goes undercover on a Russian oligarch's yacht, she finds the killer might be closer than home she ever imagined. So it's a little bit, nice little twist there. Again, that sounds intriguing. I'm going to put it on my list, but it's maybe 4 or 5 now. Next category we're going to take a look at is historical fiction.
Right, we have The Fraud by Zadie Smith, where in 1873, going back a little further, Scottish housekeeper Eliza Touche, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is...
Might have worked if you'd done it. Can you get rolling in a Scottish accent to it? Go ahead.
I'll spare everyone. She's skeptical of the literary community. Her cousin, a once famous author William Ainsworth, and his friend Charles Dickens are far from the moralists they claim to be. Soon, Eliza becomes enthralled with a case where a man claiming to be the heir of an estate is possibly a fraud. So,
wow. It sounds like a good plot. I like dropping the other names in there, especially Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
I get it. So that sounds intriguing. We're going to mention a few more titles, but draw attention specifically to one more nonfiction title. And this is a quote of somebody else described this book this way, Smashing the Glass Ceiling. This book is titled The Six, The Untold Story of America's First Women Astronauts by Lauren Grush. Again, this sounds really interesting to me. And when I didn't think about it prior. I'm like, yeah, this is a big deal in terms of what this, who our astronauts had been. This book is going to tell the remarkable true story of America's first women astronauts, 6 extraordinary women, each making history, going to orbit aboard NASA's space shuttle. When NASA's astronauts to the moon in the 1960s and 70s, the agency excluded women from that core, arguing that only military test pilots, a group then made up exclusively of men, had the right stuff. It was an era in which women were steered away from jobs in science deemed unqualified for spaceflight. Eventually, though, NASA recognized its blunder and opened up the application process to a wide array of hopefuls, regardless of race or gender. From a candidate pool, this is a number that I find amazing here, from a candidate pool of 8,000, they chose 6 elite women, were selected in 19, sorry, 18 would be interesting. From 8,000, 6 women were chosen in 1978, and names, some of these are probably familiar: Sally Ride, Judy Resnick, Anna Fisher, Kathy Sullivan, Shannon Lucid, and Rhea Seddon. This book sounds interesting to me, especially this kind of other side that we haven't focused or celebrated as much. All right, those are the books we're going to feature. Now, saying that, yes, September, October, the fall is a huge publishing month. So some other titles, some very familiar names coming out this September. James Patterson, who feels like he's almost a monthly author.
Oh, yeah.
He's a busy guy. 23 and a Half Lies. He co-writing with Mike Lupica. He wrote 12 Months to Live, coming out September. Jeffrey Archer, another big name in literature, has got Trader's Gate coming out. Bright Lakes, Big Christmas, you know, another set here, slightly different tone. Bright Lakes, Big Christmas by Mary Kay Andrews. We've got The Land of Lost Things by John Connolly, and Build the Life You Want by Arthur C. Brooke, and there's a big name here, Oprah Winfrey. All, you know, sound like these authors have a fan base. These books are coming out, something for you to look forward to.
Yep.
A lot of great books. I'm kind of excited about, like I know what I want to read, you know, bump to the front.
There you go.
All right, well, Matt, thank you very much. Thanks for putting this list together. September looks like a great reading month, and, you know, some fun reads out there and some intriguing reads.
Yes.
I'm Dave Wurzel, and you've been watching Bookshelf on PHTV4. Thank you for watching, and good reading.